You are now partaking of in-depth study biblical fact utilizing concordance, Strong's, Thayer's, lexicons, Hebrew, Greek. This is Understanding the Bible.
Understanding the Bible Radio. Ron Saxton here. I want to thank you guys for joining me, stopping by. Got another study to do. Helena's there also. Got a request to look into Matthew 20, verse 26. Matthew 20, verse 26. Okay, so that's what I'm going to look into right now. Let's see. Go to my blueletterbible.org. Remember, there's no tithing, seed sowing, offering here. No products sold, nothing here. God is not for merchandise. He doesn't need your money. He needs you to crave his spirit, period. Bottom line, so that he can give it to you and it can begin, because that is the core. If you don't have his spirit, you are none of his. Bottom line. We're going to blueletterbible.org. I'm going to put in my map. Here it is. Now, it says, this is what they wanted us to do. We're doing it live, not rehearsed. Let's see here. But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your servant. Minister. That's what that means. We're going to show it to you in a moment. Let's go back a little bit and see what this is saying in context, though. This is just one verse, one sentence out of a conversation that he's having. So we got to go back and see. Let's go back a little bit and see. He's answering, he's saying, and let's see. Then came to him the mother. Let's go to verse 20. Start right there. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee's children with her sons, worshiping him. Okay, so they were submitting, worshiping Christ, praising him, giving him the internal position, and from their intention, giving him. And their intention is, we know you're great, you're wonderful, you're a man of God, they didn't say nothing about him being the Christ, but they knew he was holy, with God was with him, they were worshiping him, okay, as that. That's what I would understand there. And desiring a certain thing from him. Now, that's really why we worship, is desiring a certain thing. Now, it's okay to desire something from him, but it's probably best that you desire the right thing from him. You understand what I'm saying? The right thing. Okay. That's what you should do. And he said unto her, What wilt thou? And she saith unto him, Grant that these my two sons may sit, the one on thy right hand and the other on thy left, in thy kingdom. Now, let's go back a little bit here, because he was talking. So let's see what he has been talking about. Okay, let's do that to get an understanding of what's going on. Okay, this is a parable. Let's see. The Lord of the Vineyard. Yep, this is a parable. All right. And as he's talking, they understand. Some are understanding what he's saying, some are not. For the kingdom of heaven, and when you're studying, you might have to do this. You might have to go back not to the beginning of the chapter, but to the beginning of the actual situation, the moment in context and what he's talking about. Okay, so you might have to do that. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is an householder. Let's see, what is a householder?
Strong's G 3617, oikades pates. Oikades pates.
That's how we get our word householder from. What does that mean in talking to the Greek people? It says a householder in English. Goodman of the house, master of the house, goodman, master of the house, householder. Okay. And here in the Thayer's Greek lexicon, which you can order today, get it in the mail, hardback. Let's see here. We're in Matthew 20. This is Matthew 20, verse 1. householder, master of the house. That's what it is. That's it. There's nothing else there on that page. Nothing else. So there you go. So let's go back. All right. So he's a master of the house. That is a master of the house which went out early in the morning to hire laborers unto his vineyard. So he owns stuff. He got stuff going on. He needs some things done in the vineyard, dealing with fruit. All right. And seeds. There you go. Growth, vegetation. All right. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. So here's my wage. You guys accept it? Yes. Go do my work. And when he went out about the third hour, and he saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. And they went in. Okay, they went into the vineyard. He went and hired some more people, went and found some more people. And again, he went out about the 6th and 9th hour. Okay, that's 3 hours apart, and did likewise. And about the 11th hour, he went out and found others standing idle. They weren't doing anything. And said unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? They said unto him, Because no man hath hired us. See that? You want to be hired? You want to be hired by the Lord God? Yeah. He saith unto him, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers, and give them their hire, the amount, okay, the pay, beginning from the last unto the first. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. Everybody got the same pay. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more. Oh, we've been doing this longer. We were the first to get hired. We should get more. And they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured. What is murmuring? G1111. All right, let's go see what it is right here on the Greek.
Strong's G 1111. Gagudzo. Gagudzo.
Murmur is how we translate it, which we don't even talk like that anymore. So to murmur, mutter, grumble, say anything against in a low tone. You know, when you were as a kid, when I was a kid, you better not be in there. You better not be in there talking under your breath, boy. You better not be, after I get in trouble, get mad at my parents. You better not be in there talking under your breath. You know how I can't stand, I hate him, get on my nerves. You better not be in there talking. That's murmuring, okay? Murmuring. Of the cooing of doves, okay? Of those who confer secretly together. Hey, you know what we need to do? We need to get together. We need to do this. We need to do that, okay? That's what it is, in secret. Of those who discontently complain. That's what they did. Okay, you go down to the Thayer's lexicon page here. You will be able to see right there, Matthew 20, verse 11. That's it. They complained. All right, of those who discontentedly complain. I don't know how you complain contently. That'd be a new one on me. Let's go back to our Matthew 20:11. All right. They murmured against the master of the house, saying, These last have wrought but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden and heat of the day. We've been out here all day. They just got here. But he answered one of them and said, Friend, okay, I consider you a friend. I do thee no wrong. Didst thou not agree with me for a penny? Did you not agree to this? Yeah. Take that thine is and go thy way. I will give unto this last even as unto thee. I'm still going to do I'll do what I want to do, basically. And I say anybody that worked for me, whether it was the beginning of the day or the end of the day, everybody get a penny. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Ooh. Is thine eye evil because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. Now we understand what the first and the last, based on what he's saying here in this parable. For many be called, but few are chosen. And Jesus goes up to Jerusalem, took 12 of his disciples apart in the way, and said unto them, Behold, we go up into Jerusalem, and the Son of Man shall be betrayed unto chief priests, Hebrew Israelites, okay, Pharisees, and unto the scribes, and they shall condemn him to death, and shall deliver him to the Gentiles to mock. That's the Romans. And to scourge. That's the Romans, and they're not Hebrews. And to crucify him. And the third day he shall rise again. He's been told this because the Father told him. I'm sure the Father told him, this is what's going to happen with you. Okay. Then came to him the mother of Zebedee, children with her sons, worshiping him and desiring a certain thing of him. And he said unto her, What wilt thou? Like he didn't know already. She saith unto him, Grant these my two sons may sit, the one on the right hand and the other on the left, in thy kingdom. So she had some knowledge of him. She knew exactly what he had been saying. She knew that he was going to be important in his reign, or in his kingdom, once they pass out of their bodies. Okay. And Jesus said, Ye know not what you ask. Uh-oh. Are ye able to drink the cup that I shall drink of, and to be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with? They say unto him, We are able. Here we go. Zealous. We're zealous. And he saith unto them, Ye shall drink indeed of my cup, and be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with. But to sit, now he says, you will be, if you coming with me, if you rolling with me, if you sticking with me, what I say, if you gonna follow me, you're going to be. But to sit on my right hand and on my left is not mine to give. That's the Father's. But it shall be given to them for whom it is prepared of my Father. You see, so now the Father's back in here again. He's the one orchestrating this. He's the one putting it all together. He's the administrator of all of this. And when the 10 heard it, they were moved with indignation against the two brethren. Now, he just gave you the parable about, you see, he just gave him the parable. Talk to him. She must have heard it. And then she followed him, because he went up, took the 12 disciples up. Then here she come after him. Let me make sure my boy's going to be straight in the kingdom, that they gonna have it going on. Then that's a mother's love for you. That is a mother's love. But he just talked about how those that come into Christ, they're going to come in and say, I've been doing this for 40 years. I served you for 40 years, Lord. And now you get this person that done come in and they only served you for 6 months and they got the same that I got. This is some bull. That's what they're going to say. Basically, that's what murmuring is. You complain. This is some mess. This is some bull. I ain't with this. This is, I don't know. But it ain't for, listen, the Father is the one that is the master of this. He's mastering it amongst us all.
I see something else there too.
What else you see? Come on, keep clear.
Am I clear?
Now you're clear. Go ahead. You're clear. Yes, go
Okay.
ahead.
I also see that, even though that's the same thing the prodigal son complained about when the son came back. He was murmured the same way.
My thoughts exactly. Yep.
But also, I see that he was interested in the people who were idle also.
Yeah, they weren't doing anything.
Yeah. So,
but he came to him.
He came.
Remember now, he went out from his house to find other people.
Right.
They were standing idle. They weren't doing anything. Then he hired them.
Right.
Okay.
But see, I looked up that word idle too. They
Okay.
should have been doing something. So then, like, I kind of understood, like, I could be wrong, but it's like he wanted to hire all those who were willing to work for the amount that he was given. Whether he asked them in the beginning or at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because
This is the
when
amount.
he made the comment that, can I do what I want with my own?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
So, yeah, so it wasn't just about the ones that were murmuring because they started in the beginning.
Right.
You know, evidently they were able to work in the beginning versus the other ones. That's just like today.
They
People
started
do the same exact
They started
thing
first.
today.
Yeah. And you know what? I've been here
Mm-hmm.
20 years, and they're getting the people that's coming in now is getting the same pay that I'm getting. That's why they say you shouldn't discuss your pay with anyone else. You know, when you get hired, you don't need to discuss salaries amongst each other. Don't do that. Yeah. Well, they pay what they want. They the company. You know, I mean, just like him. He's I'm gonna pay what I agreed to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's why you like David. David out in the back tending sheep. They're looking for a new king. Right? Saul is the king already. Give me word back when you find out who it is, because I'm gonna kill him. Anyway, that's what he was doing. But anyway, so the prophet comes and does the oil thing and finds that it's David. But they got these other sons there that are fair looking, great. Oh, they've been groomed to be a king. But David is the one the Lord selects, the one out in the back, with the sheep, fighting off the lions and bears and stuff. Okay, keeping his sheep together. They mad when he King Saul is mad. I'm already king. I'm running this. I'm doing this good. Yeah, murmuring and complaining.
What was the exact verse that he was the person wanted to talk about?
We almost there.
Oh, okay.
We're almost there. All right. And so that now they're mad, move it into indignation against the 10, all right, the 12, because there's 12 of them there. Got to go back. Restore. Let's go. Okay, here it comes. Okay, there we go. And so the 10, Zebedee must be the mother of 2 of them, of the 12 total. And so she's trying to get him hooked up for eternity. All right. And so there it is right here. And so we're going to 25. But Jesus called them unto him and said, this is the 12 he called. Y'all come here. Ye know that the princes of the Gentiles exercise dominion over them. And they that are great exercise authority upon them. Right? But it shall not be so among you. But whosoever will be great among you, let him be your servant. Minister, okay? So if you look at minister, here's what ministers are supposed to do. They're supposed to serve you. Look at this.
Strong's G 1249. Diakonos.
And we translate it as minister. See that? Servant. Deacon, okay? Servant. One who executes the commands of another, especially a master. A servant, attendant, minister. Go over there and do that. You're supposed to be serving that person to do as they are asking. That you're agreeing. You're a minister. A servant of a king. A deacon, one who by virtue of the office assigned to him by the church cares for the poor and has charge of and distributes the money collected for their use. I wonder what the deacons
like that.
I wonder what the deacons of the mega ministries, mega $1 million ministries, how they're distributing those monies.
Yeah, right.
To the poor. Yeah. As you seeing it right here on the definitions now. I didn't write it. It's in the Thayer's lexicon. So, a waiter, one who serves food and drink. He is a minister also. All right. Strong's Concordance. Here it is. That's what you get. An attendant, a waiter, at a table or other menial duties, especially a Christian teacher and pastor. They're servants. Technically a deacon or deaconess, deacon, minister, servant. That's all you get there. So there you go. So there's a Thayer's Lexicon right here. Thayer's Lexicon down here. Okay. And so there you go. So that's why I'm up. It still pains me that the servants aren't telling me the real deal. They're not telling me the truth because they're supposed to be. You're a servant to God, and all you got is what you just told me, and there's still something missing. It's still something missing from what you said. We'll come back next week. We're gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you next week. Why I gotta wait a week? You're supposed to be serving him to tell me now. You understand? Right now, not next week. Get the series. Go buy the series DVDs or CDs. Go buy them. Go buy the book, and it'll tell you. No. Not doing that. You're supposed to be serving him to tell me, equip me in the things of him. Now, if he's not in you, now we got a problem. I'm looking at the wrong well. There's no water in this well, because evidently he's not in you to tell me to go buy your book or CD or come back next week. I need to know now, and you're supposed to be telling me, but you're not. That's why I'm not getting off the core, because that is the core. That's what they're supposed to be saying. We're all supposed to be craving in his spirit. Once we get his spirit, listen, stay humble to it, crave more, need more of him, more of his faith, more of his knowledge. We're supposed to grow in that. Why aren't we doing that? Because they're not telling us. They're not teaching us this. Go ahead. What you got, Lynn? I'm sorry. I'm starting to clock off. What you got?
I'm just waiting. That's all.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm good.
Well, verse 25, I mean, what you were saying is what verse 25 is saying, basically. He's making a difference here. He's saying that this will not be among you, my disciples, my people.
Yeah.
But among the others, they have people over them that exercise dominion.
Yeah.
Or people that are great.
Right.
Among them exercise this great authority. So, I mean, so you could say that, I mean, those people could be these great pastors or whoever, that exercise dominion over. But Christ is saying this is not going to be among you, because those of you who are great among yourselves, then you are to be the ministers to others. Yeah. So they're going to be the exact opposite of what we see and used to.
What we see now, right here on earth, and how they do it. But not only that, you gotta also in studies I've seen and done over the years, the 12 disciples are going to have 12 thrones when the new city of Jerusalem comes back. They're going to be 12 thrones for them. They're going to be sitting on 12 thrones. Yeah, but that's another study, basically. Okay, so he's talking in verse 26, he's talking directly to them, and 25 and 26, directly to those 12. All right, so the first shall be last, the last shall be first. You're going to be equal, okay, is what he's saying. Because the first, last, first, you're equal. It's the same, y'all got the same level. If I'm first, he says, no, you're last. And if you're last, Alina, he said, no, you're first. So that means we're equal.
And you're not going to lord over the people like the others are doing.
You ain't going to be ruling, Lord. Well, and on those thrones, there's authority there for those thrones. But you got to remember, if you are not the authority administering out from your authority, and you have no one else to answer to, you're the top head. You're the top authority. Well, there's only one that is the top authority, period. And that's the one who received it all. And that's Christ. And under him, you will be an authority, but you will also be under authority. You see? So if you're a manager in a company, you're a manager with authority over employees, but then you also have an authority to answer to. You see what I'm saying? So even though there are 12 thrones that they're going to be sitting on, they're all going to be equal on that authority. But they're answering to the supreme authority still. They're all equal. Everybody's still equal on that 12 because they're still answering and dealing with him throughout all eternity. And any believer that's saved, Christian that's saved for the body of Christ, the church, they're going to be an authority also. They're going to be speaking and teaching spiritual rulers and potentates, angels and demons, the knowledge of God by his church. That's what that means in Ephesians 3:9-11. So we have an authority to speak and teach his knowledge to them because they don't know it. But we're up under Christ's authority also. Okay? So that's what he's really showing here. He's really talking about the authority that they have. These 12 will have. It's all going to be the same. Y'all are going to be the same. Even though you're sitting on thrones, you all have authority. You're all the same. First, last, first. It's the same, And all's in the middle, y'all in the middle. Everybody's the same. Okay? Everyone, that's why he's saying in that parable, yeah, you came to work for me. You worked longer than the ones I just went out to the marketplace and got and found. It was 3 sets. It was the first people that started in the beginning of the day, then another set that he went into the marketplace, then another set of people he found.
You notice the work is the same.
Yep, they all
There's
got
no
the
different
same
work.
They all got the same pay at the end of the day. Okay? But
and work too.
But and they worked. Our carnal minds, though, I've been here longer. I should get paid more. They should get paid less than what I get paid, in other words. The ones that worked half a day should get, half a penny? The ones that worked at the end of the day, maybe they should get quarter of a penny. That's what they were saying. Because they want to be more important than the ones that came later. But he says, you're not the ones to dish out this authority. I am the one that dishes out the authority over this money and the work. I did it. You understand? Bottom line. Now, I didn't call all y'all. He didn't call, and you think about it, doing this study, he didn't call all the 12 at the same time. He met them at different times. Starting from the first disciple to the last 12, the 12th disciple. Oh, because I picked you first, you should get more. You know what I'm saying? No, you call for a job to do, and you're going to get it done. Bottom line. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. See? You're chief, but be servant. You see that? That's verse 27. He's talking to the 12. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, not to be served, but to minister, but to be a servant to you. How is Christ being a servant to us? The Father instructed him, go and do what I'm saying for them. Do what I'm telling you to do for them. Well, Christ says, Father, I serve you. I will go and serve. I will go do that. He's really serving the Father. Go ahead. What you got? Let's talk. Live study.
I think I understand. I'm sorry. I understand it too. Also, he says it a different way in the Gospels. Christ. There was I don't want to say argument among the disciples, but they were talking about John. I guess they said he loved John the best, and John was not going to die. So they were saying like, oh, so is John not going to die? And then Jesus said, well, what is that to you if he lives or dies? Remember that? It's the same thing we're talking about now, but he said it in a different way.
Try to search it out. John the Baptist? John the Baptist wasn't his disciple.
No. John, one of the disciples. It may have been in the book of John.
Oh, I'm not sure where it was.
I'll find it.
So, okay, break that down to me. So if he dies, what he says, why were they talking about if he died? Oh, you mean in regards to his place?
because the disciples were saying that John was the most beloved of Christ, of Jesus at the time, and they were going back and forth with this. And so one of the disciples asked Jesus, so he won't die? So John, meaning he won't physically die. And he said, Jesus said, well, what is that to you if he lives or die? This was after he had resurrected and he came on the island and they were talking. Here, let me try to find it.
Okay.
I think it's John 21:23. Go to John 21:23.
All right, let's go back a little bit. Peter, seeing him, saith, Jesus, Lord, what is this? What shall this man do? Jesus saith unto him, If I will that he tarry till I come, what is that to thee? Follow thou me. Then went this saying abroad among the brethren, that disciple should not die. Yet Jesus said not unto him, he shall not die. He said, he didn't say that to him. But if I will that he tarry till I come, wait, what is it to thee? The next 24. This is the disciple which testifieth of these things and wrote these things, and we know that his testimony is true, and that there also be many other things which Jesus did, that which if they should be written, every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Ooh, he did so much they couldn't write it all down. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit.
I just brought this up because it was like it was a correlation between what you were talking about.
Excuse me.
With the first, last, first, that whole bickering among, I was here longer.
That's us doing that. Yeah, that's us doing it.
And not get the same pace. So then here you have the disciples, going amongst themselves about, okay, well, you love him more, know, and Jesus saying the same thing to them. Well, that doesn't matter.
Right.
What does it matter is I do love him,
Now this is where Jesus shows up and speaks to Peter and the other that's with him at the shore, because Peter goes back to fishing when Jesus dies. I guess he didn't know what else to do. This is now the third time that Jesus showed himself to his disciples. After that, he was risen from the dead. So when they had dined, Jesus said unto Peter, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me more than these? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my lambs. And he saith unto him again the second time, Simon, son of Jonas, thou lovest thou me? He said unto him, Yea, Lord, thou knowest that I love thee. He saith unto him, Feed my sheep. He saith unto him a third time, Simon, son of Jonas, lovest thou me? Peter was grieved because he saith unto him a third time, Lovest thou me? And he said unto him, Lord, thou knowest all these things. Thou knowest that I love thee. Jesus saith unto him, Then feed my sheep. See? That's what I'm talking about. It's right there again. It's right there again. When you love him, and will you have him, you know him, you got him, you with him. Now this is the Peter now that he said, upon this rock I'll build my church. The strength of a man's soul, what rock means there. Upon the strength of your soul, Peter, I'm going to build my church. That's really what he's saying in a reverse translation phrase. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, this is verse 18, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself and walkest whither thou wouldest. You did what you wanted to do and where you wanted to. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee. Somebody else is going to put that gird on and carry thee whither thou wouldest not. Okay? So you're going to be all about your own self when you're young. What you want to do, where you want to go. But when you get old, somebody going to have to take you. This he spake, signifying what death he should glorify God. And when he had spoken this, He saith unto him, Follow me. Then Peter, turning about, seeth the disciple whom Jesus loved, following, which also leaned on his breast at supper, and said, Lord, which is he that betrayeth thee? Peter, seeing him, saith to Jesus, Lord, and what shall this man do? Now, this disciple is not named. There's no name for this guy. This disciple that loved Jesus, and there's no name for this guy in the Bible for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see here.
Strong's G 3101. Mathetes. Mathetes.
A learner, pupil, a disciple, somebody that was just learning of Christ, following him everywhere, following him.
That makes
Just
sense.
he wasn't even chosen. God didn't. Jesus in the Bible never says, "Hey, to this person, come and follow me." The guy just followed him. Okay. One who follows one's teaching. Now, are you going to follow Jesus's teaching, or are you going to follow a pastor or minister's teaching? A doctrine, a different, you're going to follow Jesus's. Which one? It's up to you. He that keepeth my words. Remember, my words. All right. Of Jesus, in a wide sense, in the Gospels, those among the Jews who favored him joined his party and became his adherents. Okay. There are people that followed him that's not mentioned here of the 12, evidently. Very often also simply, this Greek term here. All right. Let's see more definition. Are all those who confess Jesus as the Messiah Christians? And often with this Greek term added. The word is not found in the Old Testament, nor in the epistles of the New Testament, nor in the Apocalypse in Greek writings, which is, Apocalypse just means revelation. Okay? Apocalypse of Christ. Apocalypse of Christ is revelation of Christ. That's all apocalypse means. It doesn't mean the end of the world, destruction, total calamity. You know, it doesn't mean that. We've taken it and made it mean that, but that's not what it means. Okay? So there you go. So we see that this guy is a guy there who loveth Jesus, loveth more. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's see. Where was it? Okay. Terry, I will come. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's it. It's really all it. Let's see. Okay, there it is. 20. Okay. At his last supper, and saith, Lord, which is he that betrayeth thee? That was at the last supper that had already happened. And Peter, seeing him, this man that did that, saith to Jesus, Lord, and what shall this man do? Because now you done told me to feed your sheep, but what he gonna do? And Jesus saith unto him, if I will that he wait till I come, what is that to thee? Do you see that, Helena?
Yep.
You see
That's
it?
what, yeah. That's,
See that? So we got some clarity there. He said, what he gonna do? Now you want me to feed your sheep, but what is he gonna do?
Don't
what is
worry
it to
about
you?
what he gonna do.
Right.
You.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Then
You follow me.
there you go. Then went this saying abroad among the brethren, that disciple should not die. It went saying abroad among the brethren now. Okay, Jesus didn't say it. They said it. Yet Jesus said not unto him, he shall not die. Jesus saith not unto him, okay? But if I will that he wait till I come, what is it? What is that to thee? This is the disciple which testifies of these things and wrote these things, and we know that his testimony is true. This unnamed disciple. Okay. He wrote it down. He followed it and wrote it and documented. And there are also many other things which Jesus did, the which, if they should be written, every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Amen. There's so much more he did that we don't know about. Okay. That they couldn't write them all down. Okay. So there you go. So I hope that answers the question on that one. He wanted to know about this Matthew 20:26. All right. As they departed from Jericho, and a great multitude followed him, and behold, two blind men sitting. Okay, that's another situation there. So there we go. There we go. I hope that answered the question on that. And we've been on in 40 minutes. So anything else you want to get on? It's real quick, Kalina, for 20 minutes. We can make it an hour.
It's easy to do that.
You say what?
I said that's easy to stay on for another 20 minutes.
Okay. Well, what you got? You got something else?
I mean, on this topic alone, you're talking about. I mean, we wanted to know, I guess, that particular thing, the ministry part. You know, we see as believers today, we're trained and we're taught that our ministers are like the verse before. They pretty much are lording over. You know, for example, when we're in church or wherever, you know, that we can congregate, we can't go up to the so-called minister of the church and ask a question.
Oh.
Say I'm in the congregation and you're up there preaching, but you're supposed to be equal as I am. Yeah. According to scripture, you're supposed to be equal. Okay. And so if I have a question, I don't have clarity of what you're saying. I don't have understanding.
Yeah.
You have all this head knowledge, but there's no understanding coming across the pews. So I can't go up there and say, well, hey, Pastor such, can we talk about what you were saying? Not to be, nasty or anything about it, but you just want to know more about it.
Yeah.
You can't do that today. You can't. That's not being equal. That is not. A minister is someone who should be able to minister to you like what you're doing now. If I have a question, Ron, okay, what are we going to do about this? We're going to get in here and search it out. We're going to look and get in these definitions to see let's see what Jesus said about this particular thing that we're talking about. Nobody's going to do that in church.
Yes.
It's not going to happen. But so that's like, for me, that's like a huge difference between a minister that we see here in scripture, what it's supposed to be, and versus a minister that we have today.
Right.
Well, you why don't you set up an appointment to talk to Bishop such or brother such, and he can hook you up with all the stuff that you need to know. Why is it that I need to know? I mean, let's talk, like you said, let's talk about the core thing of this. Nobody's really talking about really the Christ. Nobody's talking about how important it is to know that you have his spirit. And we're not talking about just believing, I believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, like you said before, why can't we get beyond this, I believe in Jesus, so let me go on my merry way. There's more.
Yeah.
But there should be more. There should be more working in your soul than just, I just believe.
True. That's true.
But nobody wants to really talk about that. Like, when I go to church, I think about those are the kind of conversations I think about having with pastors or people that's leaders, but they don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True. Go ahead. I know what you got to do. Go ahead. But yeah. I studied for 8 hours and I got this sermon to do, and then we're not gonna have questions about it, and nobody's writing down questions on what he's saying as he's saying it, and then talk. Well, you said this. Interview him. You just said this. You said the will, the will of God for my life. What is that will? Why don't they ask? They don't allow you to ask it. Usually they don't, or they answer incorrectly. Whatever God has for your life. So broad. God has many different things for many different people, and then he's got to, no, he's got one will. Now you're supposed to look at this. You're supposed to study. Look at this. Here's the famous scripture. Supposed to study to show thyself approved, right? Look at this. Here it is. This is a letter to Timothy from Paul, who's in jail, in the Roman jail. And he says, listen, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. That's what we're supposed to be doing there. But shun profane and vain babblings, for they will increase unto more ungodliness. Now that's incorrect doctrine. That's really what that is. Just vain. To be vain is to be profane to God. It's all about you, the human. It's all about the human. We make this one the Bible, rightly dividing the word of the scripture. That's what we make, because we keep saying the word of God is the Bible, is scripture. It's not. The word of God is his son. Now, you're supposed to study to show thyself approved unto God the Father. Now, if that's the case, this is the factors of it. Look, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word. Lord God, I know the Bible. Well, you know what he said? He told me years ago, the devil knows the Bible. Is he approved? Is he? That's not what I'm talking about there. The word of truth. Remember, who is the truth? My son. I say, okay, yeah. Know what he is. He is me. No. Now here's another one. Anything about you is profane and vain, because your heart is wicked continually. Your imagination is horrible. There's nothing in the Bible that says anything good about your heart. Man's heart is terrible. His imagination is terrible. Nothing good is connected with those words in our scripture. The heart of man is wicked and evil continually until God gives you a new heart, which is what he told them in the Old Testament. They refused it. And their word will eat as doth a canker, of whom is Hymenaeus. And for these are false teachers here. People that went astray, away from the word of truth. They didn't have a New Testament Bible back then. These are Christian, supposed to be followers of Christ, keepers of Christ's word, what he said, but they were not. They went into profane and vain babblings. And their word, what they say, it will eat doth as a canker. That's why I keep saying, how long is it going to take for those blessings that ministers and pastors and bishops are telling you about? How long is it going to take before it comes to fruition and is prosperous? How? But it doesn't. You fought for the promotion. You fought for the increase. You went to school. You did the career moves. You started the business. You worked on it. You worked it hard to make it what it is. There's people out there that refute God, and they have way more than you do. Way more blessings, as we call it. People are the false preachers are taking any and everything and twisting it with studying to show thyself approved unto God, needing not being ashamed. Okay, so now, and study Timothy. Christ is telling Paul to tell him a lot of good stuff to these ones that's claiming to be the bishops, and he's telling a lot of good stuff. So let's take a look. Study perfect will of God. That's the one. That's the one I want. All I got to do is listen.
Hey,
Yeah.
were you saying he was telling the bishops that?
He was telling
to study to show themselves approved?
Yes, because that's what Timothy's going to be, a bishop.
Yeah, the leaders. Okay, that makes a lot of sense, because they're the ones that's supposed to edify the church. I see
Right.
that. Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Let's see, where is it at? What is it? The perfect will of God. I thought it was study this. There's a study word. Study. Let's see.
Talk about John 17:3, the will of the Father.
Oh, not together. Uh, it's somewhere in here. Romans 8 is always good to check it out. Here it is. Okay, all right. It wasn't study to show thyself approved. Here it is. Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world. They always getting us to conform to the world. Go to God to ask to make the things in your situation of this earth better. That's the world. But be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. They liken that to you reading the Bible and memorizing it and knowing it. That doesn't say that here. That you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. It's not wills. It's will. It's one. Just one. You see? Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, Ron, how do I get that to happen? But first you're going to submit yourself. You're going to, I'm begging you. That's what beseech, begging you, requesting, petitioning you. By the mercies of God, not giving us the damnation, the condemnation that we deserve, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice. Is set apart, holy, uncommon to the world, because I'm not conforming to it. Holy, acceptable. You can use me, God, which is your reasonable service. That's first how you're going to set yourself up inside with your intention. And be not conformed, see that, to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. What is it? He just talked about it earlier in the letter. Romans 8:28. And we know all things that work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. What does purpose mean? What does purpose mean there? Setting forth of a thing, placing thing. Let's see, a purpose. All right. He's got a purpose.
It's pretty much the same as saying, take no thought, he'll add it unto you.
It's a will. Yeah, he's got a will going for you. So he's got the will, purpose. I have a purpose. That's your will. That's an intention of what he's trying to do. If you look at let's see if it's Webster's. We'll show it too. In the English language. Let's see if those two are the same. Let's do that. Purpose. This is the G 4286. And I'm going to go back to Romans. Let's see if those are both the same. Because our English can do that. It can use different words for the same meaning. Nope, that's G2 2307. And this one is 4286, 2307. Let's look at will.
Strong's G 2307. Thelema.
Thelema. Okay. Will, desire. What is a perfect will and desire? Wow, pleasure. One who wishes or has determined shall be done. That's what that is. Intentional. See that? Of the purpose of God to bless mankind through Christ. See that? Of what God wishes to be done by us. See that? And that's all under the main definition. What one wishes or has determined shall be done. Commands, precepts, will, choice, inclination, desire, pleasure. Let's take a look down in the lexicon from the Thayers right there. Will, what one wishes or has determined to be done. All right, and let's go to our Romans. Is simply this one, but here better text shows as a okay, also used without the article. Okay, commands, precepts. All right, let's see. Followed by an infinitive, by an accusative of the infinitive. Will and choice, okay, right here is where we at, equivalent to this Greek term. Will and choice, the abstract act of willing, the subjective, okay? Especially God. Let's see what else we can find. If God will, okay, if he determines it, if he wants it, if he please with that. Equivalent to pleasure, all right, equivalent to inclination, desire, all right. I was trying to find, nope, nothing there. I believed someone told me it was purpose, a will. Let's see, that which a person sets before him as an object to be reached or accomplished. This is the purpose definition in the English. The end or aim to which the view is directed in any plan. My purpose in this is to get this done, get that done. Measure or exertion. We believe the Supreme Being can created intelligent beings for some benevolent and glorious purpose, and if so, how glorious and benevolent must his purpose in the plan must be his purpose in the plan of redemption. The ambition of men is generally directed to one of two purposes, or to both: the acquisition of wealth or power. See, they tie it in. They tie it in together. We build houses for the purpose of shelter. We labor for the purposes of subsistence. Intention. See that? Intention. That's the purpose, is intention. Your purpose was to hurt me. So your intention was to hurt me. Design. This sense, however, is hardly to be distinguished from the former, as purpose always includes the end in view. Okay. Let's see. Purpose established by counsel. Proverbs 20:18. Being predestinated according to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his own will. Ephesians 1:11. There it is. Look at that. After the counsel of his own will. End, effect, consequence, good or bad. What good purpose will this answer? We sometimes labor to no purpose, men often employed by their time, talents, and money for very evil purposes. For very evil purposes. See that? To what purpose is this waste? All right, Matthew 26:8. Conversation. Wow, that's one instance example. A purpose on purpose with previous design, with the mind directed to that object on purpose is more generally used, but the true phrase is of purpose. Purpose, to intend, to design, to resolve, to determine on some end or object to be accomplished. I have purposed it. I will also do it. Isaiah 46, Ephesians 3. Yeah. Paul purposed in the Spirit when he had passed through Macedonia and Achaia to go to Jerusalem. He sure did. And that's what started the whole, him getting arrested and everything. Okay. So there you go. That's purpose there. Let me go here. I want to open another one. Copy. I'll do it here. Then I'll type in will. We can compare the definitions. This is real study here, live study. The faculty of the mind by which we determine either to do or forbear inaction. The faculty which is exercised in deciding. See that? Among two or more objects which we shall embrace or purpose. We just talked about Christ the union. Among two or more objects. See that? Which will purpose. This will is directed or influenced by the judgment. The understanding or reasoning compares different objects which operate as motives. The judgment determines which is preferable. The will decides which to pursue. In other words, we reason with respect to the value or importance of things. Then we judge which is to be preferred, and we will to take the most valuable. These are but different operations of the mind, soul, or intellectual part of man. Great disputes have existed respecting the freedom of the will. Will is often quite a different thing from desire. Got it? Got it? It's a choice. A power of a man's substance amounts to a power over his will. It is my will to prosecute the trespasser. Choice, discretion, pleasure. Go then, the guilty at thy will chastise. Command, direction. Our prayers should be according to the will of God, to the pleasure of Him. That's what we ask amiss, because we're asking stuff that's not at His pleasure. Okay, it's not in line with Him, with His pleasure. Disposition, inclination, desire. What is your will, sir? In this phrase, the word may also signify determination, especially when addressed to a superior power. Arbitrary, disposal. Deliver me not over to the will of my enemies. All right, divine determination, moral or counsel, moral purpose or counsel. Moral purpose. Purpose, there's the word in there. Thy will be done. Okay, the Lord's Prayer. Testament. Oh, the disposition of a man's estate to take effect after his death. Wills are written or non-cupative. Non-cupative. Never read that one before. That is verbal. Goodwill. Favor, kindness, right intention. Ill will, enmity, unfriendliness. It expresses less than malice. Ooh. To have one's will to obtain what is desired. At will, to hold an estate, the will of another, is to enjoy the possession at his pleasure. To be liable to be ousted at any time by the lessor or proprietor. Okay. Will with a wisp, jack with a lantern, ignis fatuus. I don't know what that is. That's some other language I can. All right. Appearance sometimes seen in the air over moist ground to proceed. Okay, that's not what we're looking for there. The sense is to set or to set forward, to stretch forward. The sense is well expressed by the Latin. To determine, decide in the mind. We saw that something shall be done or forborne, implying the power to carry the purpose into effect. In this manner, God wills whatever comes to pass, so that in the style of princes, we will that execution be done. A man that sits still is said to be at liberty because he can walk if he will it. To command, direct. All right. That's an example there. To be included or resolved to have. To wish or desire. What will you? Like Jesus asked the lady, what wilt thou? Or something like that. To dispose, if estate and effects be testament. It is sometimes equivalent to may be. Let the circumstances be what they will. That is, any circumstances of whatever nature. Will is used this is a lot of will here. using an auxiliary verb as a sign of the future tense. Future, all right, tense, as it has different signification in different persons. I will go as a present promise to go. See that? See how that's thou wilt go. You will go. Express foretelling. He will go is also foretelling. The use of will in the plural, in the same, we will promise. Okay, there you go. See, we will promise. Okay, all the good stuff. Okay, got that. Let's go back. Okay, so there we go. So will and promise is shown there. This is his purpose. So he's got a will there. What is it? It's right there. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image, G1504. Right there. Here it is. There it is right there. That's the big deal. The image of the Son of God into which true Christians are transformed is likeness not only to the heavenly body, but also to the most holy and blessed state of mind which Christ possesses. That's the transformation, renewing of your mind, transformed. He does that in you. No book can do that. No other man can do it. He does it. There it is. Yeah. So there you go. And that's what I got. It's been an hour and 6 minutes. Helena, you ready to wrap up? Or you if you're busy, just stay on mute. I understand what you're doing. No problem. All right. We're getting ready to roll out. And I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Wendelin, stop by. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. I get to see you every now and again. But yeah, that's it, man. This is it. So Matthew 20:26 is done. We'll come back later with the spiritual discernment thing you want me to talk about. Getting there. It's pretty simple and easy. Shouldn't take long at all. I mean, not only that, we're doing live study, and that's how we do it right here on Understanding the Bible Radio.
Please allow us to extend our deepest thanks, our humblest appreciation, our greatest gratitude for your fellowship here with us, sharing the letter of the gospel, the ancient definitions of Scripture. This is Understanding the Bible.